So what is something different? Any personal touches that you've added to Eclipse when you came on this?
I just tried to make the film I saw in my head when I read the script, and I guess by virtue of the fact that it was in my head and not someone else's, I guess it'll be different. The way I work is not that conventional. It is a process of just trying to imagine the film as clearly and in as much detail as possible, and then just making as many notes as I possibly can to take that out of my head and get it onto the screen, and hopefully what I see in my head's worth seeing. You know, that's the process I go through.
What is the toughest thing about working on such a big production like Eclipse?
I guess the scale of it all, you know, means that you can't be everywhere all the time, which is sometimes very frustrating. Sometimes, you know, we'd have a second unit that would shoot stuff, and you'd know that it wasn't going to work out. So, and you'd feel really bad when they came back, and you'd ask them to go and do it again, or you would go on I'd go on my weekend. I always shoot it myself. Just the frustration of not being able to be everywhere at once, and I guess that's about it, really. You know, otherwise, just the sheer scale of the thing is pretty daunting.
What was your favorite scene to shoot in this movie?
It was all the scenes where I was there with the rest of the humans, because we all like feed off each other and we have a good time, and we're usually goofing around anyway. They just happen to film it sometimes.
So, were there any like funny encounters on set? Anything funny that happened?
No, there's too many funny things to mention. I think we all just like mess around the whole time, so we're all just cracking up.
All right, so you play a human in this movie, but if you could, would you rather play a vampire or a werewolf?
I don't know. I'd probably want to experience both if I was really wishing for things, or a hybrid of both. I don't know.
You obviously play a werewolf in the movie. How much of the actual werewolf scenes do you get to actually do?
The scenes where we're human. All the other ones, the guy sits behind the computer, types us in, and makes up a little sketch of a werewolf, and that's our character.
Alrighty, cool.
Okay, more importantly, tell me about the band.
Oh, Touché! Touché is great. We actually came out here last night and played acoustic songs for him.
Yeah, I heard you were here and they said it was rocking.
Yeah. I wish we could have came out with the whole band, like the drums, the electric stuff, and the screaming. Yeah, it was great. They all sat around. It was really intimate. It really touched my heart.
So are you guys recording anything? Do you have an album dropping?
Yeah, we're actually in the studio. We're trying to open up a new EP and then get a record label to probably get us a full-length album.
The wolves are described as brothers in the movie. Do y'all have that same kind of relationship off camera too?
Oh, totally. We're brothers. We are brothers in arms, man. We all love each other. We work out together. We go to movies together. We eat together from the same dog bowl. I'm telling you, it's crazy. We love each other. It's good times.
We didn't know when the camera was rolling and when it wasn't. We always were just having fun, making fun of each other, and when the camera rolled, we're still doing the same thing. So that dynamic stayed throughout the film, and it was a really great thing to do.
All right, cool. What was the funniest thing that happened on set?
Oh, there were so many funny things. I think for me, it was a scene where I tripped and fell and rolled in a bunch of mud while we were filming. That was kind of intense and scary, but we pulled it off, and it was a good time.
Well, and the wolves are all shirtless a lot in the movies. Does that ever get cold? I mean, you're filming in like rainy weather all the time. It's not exactly the best thing. How does that work out for you?
We have to have a lot of heat packs. You know, like we have like a thermal thing that we wear underneath the shorts to keep us warm the entire time. So it's kind of weird, you know, experiencing new things I've never experienced and been cold in new places I've never been cold at before.
Well, always a challenge of condensing, but, you know, the challenge is, you know, so often when you have a couple that is, you know, being pulled apart and the romance can't quite be consummated, it's always very exciting. In Breaking Dawn, it's consummated, and I hope that it doesn't, I mean, it's a very different direction to go in. You know, now we're no longer talking about an unrequited love, we're now talking about a married couple. And it's a different kind of storytelling. It was more mature.
What was it like getting into your character? Was that difficult for you?
Yeah, I don't know that many vampires, so it was kind of tough, you know, no real frame of reference. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, absolutely.
Cool. And did you have to train for any of the fight scenes?
Yeah, I mean, whenever we weren't shooting, we were kind of at the gym or with the stunt team, kind of working out and preparing for these action sequences, and they were kind of, you know, as much fun to do as they are to watch, I think.
Unfortunately, we don't get to see you past Eclipse,
If you could play any other Twilight character, gender aside, who would it be?
That's a tough one because all the characters are so cool, you know. But I think Jasper is a really interesting character. He's very complex, and I like that you learn a lot more about his character in Eclipse. So.
What is your favorite scene in Eclipse? Have you actually seen the film?
I have, yeah. I mean, there's so many great scenes. I think the chase sequences in the film are really, really gripping because David Slade's got this kind of, you know, firm grip on the dark side of the film. But I think the climax of the film, which is this kind of battle sequence in this snowy landscape, is really cool.
You had said last week at the convention that David Slade had to yell at you to get you angry for the different scenes. What did he say to you exactly?
I can't repeat it. He really, really pissed me off. Genuinely. But, like, he's so sweet and I love him. So as soon as we were done, I was like, you're trying to piss me off. He's like, yeah. But it was just, I mean, he knows, you know, he got under my skin. And that's not easy to do. I'm I'm a professional. I've been doing this for a while. So it's not often that I get pissed off and genuinely want to rip someone's head off. But that was the effect.
Excellent. Can you tell me about the movie you're shooting now, Homework?
Oh, I finished it, but it's amazing. It's incredible. This tiny little beautiful movie with Emma Roberts and Freddie Highmore and Rita Wilson and all these amazing actors. So,
quick question: you finally got a chance to expand on Rosalie in this role. What did you work on? Did you have research? Did Stephanie give you some opinions on what to do? How did you find her real character?
You know, the beautiful thing about being a part of this is that they're based on these books, and so we have all of this information sort of, you know, waiting there for us. And so I just went back and reread the book, and David Slade, who's so talented and wonderful, came with a whole set of ideas and things that I hadn't necessarily thought of that weren't even, it's not like he was changing the character at all, but just, you know, a different set of eyes, a different understanding of her. And so I think that all of that helps. Yeah.
Are you writing anymore? Have you been writing anything since 13?
Yeah, I write constantly, and I'm developing a few ideas right now and fleshing out a few things. I'm mostly moving into the television world. I'm trying to go there, but right now I'm actually going off to do a really cool movie with Bruce Willis and Forrest Whitaker and Malin Ackerman. Yeah.
So you obviously stepped in for Rochelle in playing Victoria. Was there any pressure put on you to like fit a certain mold, or did the directors let you like take on your own interpretation?
Well, I was a huge fan of the films and the books before any of this ever came up. And so I felt a huge amount of pressure because part of the joy of a franchise is that you get to see the actors that you fall in love with from film to film. And so when I heard about this, my first reaction, which is still my reaction actually, and my feelings is that that's disappointing. You know, it's really disappointing. She was so good in Twilight and New Moon. And so, yeah, I felt a lot of pressure for that reason because I didn't want to ruin anything for anyone, you know, and it was already, it's a loss. It's a loss for the franchise. Well, I did my best, and to be perfectly honest, Rochelle herself has been the most amazing person throughout this process. It's obviously a huge sadness for her as well, but she's been incredibly gracious and supportive and so lovely, so lovely.
The Cullens have a bigger role in Eclipse now, and in Breaking Dawn they're going to even have a bigger role. So how are you going to prepare for that, and are you excited?
I'm really excited to film Breaking Dawn. You know, it's always like a family reunion whenever we get a chance to, you know, get back together and have some family dinners. I like it.
That's cool. So now that Breaking Dawn's going to be split into 2 films, and they're going to be filmed right, like back to back, how is your schedule looking? Is it crazy?
Well, between you know, producing my own films with Patchmo Entertainment, we got a movie coming out called Girlfriend that we worked with Wayne Lauren Film Group on, as well as our band 100 Monkeys, and then, you know, with the films that I'm doing with Breaking Dawn, you know, I don't hardly have any time to go on a date these days. That's the bad part. I just wish I could, you know, take a pretty girl out for dinner sometime. What are you doing later? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.